One of President Trump's top campaign promises is that he would oversee an end to the two ongoing wars, the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the Israel-Hamas war. And despite some temporary ceasefires, those two conflicts continue. During the 2024 campaign, Trump repeatedly said he could end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. But last week, he told Time magazine that was an exaggeration, saying, quote, "Obviously, people know that when I said that, it said in jest, but it was also said that it will be ended." His administration held multiple meetings and phone calls with Ukrainian and Russian leaders, but has failed to convince both sides to agree to an extended ceasefire, let alone that elusive peace deal. In February, U.S. and Ukrainian relations reached a low point after that very public Oval Office dispute between President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. But the Ukrainians did come back to the negotiating table. They accepted a U.S. proposal for a 30-day ceasefire in March. Russia, though, and Mr. Trump Russia has not agreed to that, and Mr. Trump is expressing frustration recently, saying this about Russian President Vladimir Putin to reporters Sunday afternoon.
I want him to stop shooting, sit down and sign a deal. And we have the confines of a deal, I believe, and I want him to sign it and be done with it and just go back to life.
Now, on the Israel-Hamas war, a ceasefire did hold for several weeks. During that time, there were hostage and prisoner exchanges. The ceasefire began the day before Trump's inauguration and was negotiated by Biden administration and incoming Trump officials. But that ceasefire only held until March 18th, when Israel launched missiles into Gaza with the U.S.'s backing. The IDF claimed it was targeting Hamas terrorists. Since then, ceasefire negotiations have continued, but no agreement has been reached. Trump has primarily blamed Hamas for the stalled peace talks, but on Friday, he said he shared concerns to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about the treatment of Palestinian civilians.
Got to be good to Gaza. Those people are suffering. We got to be good to Gaza. We're going to take care of that.
For more on President Trump's foreign policies after 100 days in office, we now want to speak with Mark Cancian. He's a senior advisor for the Defense and Security Department at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. We appreciate you joining us this morning, Mark. President Trump acknowledged ending the war in Ukraine on day one wasn't serious, but is he any closer right now to achieving his pledge to end that conflict?
No question that they've made some progress. The two sides are talking. There are proposals on the table. So that's all encouraging. They're in a better place. However, they haven't been able to close the deal, as we've just heard. The Ukrainians have been uncomfortable with some of the provisions, but they've gone along with what Trump has proposed. The Russians think they're winning and have been reluctant to accept a peace deal because they think they're going to win if the war continues. Trump is putting some pressure on them to come to the table and make a deal, but they've still got a ways to go. We've seen some recently actions by Putin proposing a ceasefire next month. That's a positive step, I think, a reaction to Trump's pressures.
Let me ask you more about that, because Putin announced this 3-day ceasefire, but in the far future, right, as far as war is concerned, more than a week away. Zelensky wonders why not make it immediate. Help us understand the Putin strategy there.
Putin is reacting to pressure from Trump and really the global community that they are the ones who are keeping the war going. So he is proposing this 3-day ceasefire, similar to what they did around Easter, I think as a gesture to show that he has interests in negotiations and peace.
All right, Mark Cancian, we appreciate you joining us from Virginia this morning.
Thanks for having me on the show.